Chapter 9. The Weight of a Choice. The days settled into a new rhythm. Mina and Raven developed a quiet, unspoken routine. After the final bell, they would meet on the steps behind an abandoned factory, a familiar spot that now held a different kind of meaning. It became their space to decompress, to talk, or more often to simply sit in comfortable silence, sharing a cigarette and a sip from Raven's flask. It was on those steps that Raven began to open up, not in a flood of emotion but in small, hesitant updates. "My mom's in a new program," Raven said one afternoon, twirling a cigarette between her fingers. "They're calling it an intensive outpatient program. It's a lot." She paused, then added, "She has to go to meetings and therapy every day to see a counselor." Mina nodded, listening intently. She thought about her own life, the quiet comfort of her home, the unwavering support of her parents. She felt a surge of gratitude for the life she had, but also a deeper empathy for Raven. "That's a good thing though, right?" Mina asked gently. "That she's getting help? My parents wanted me to see one too. I think they are overreacting, honestly. Though if they knew I was drinking and smoking now, they would probably insist." "Yeah," Raven said, her voice soft. "The doctors and psychologists, they're trying to remove whatever was wrong with her, like a cancer." The simile was stark, but it made a chilling kind of sense. Raven explained that the program was a kind of surgery for her mom's addiction, and it was a difficult, painful process. "She's trying to get better. It's just she's got a long way to go." She deliberately avoided responding to what Mina said about her parents wanting her to see a counselor or that she had been drinking and smoking, as it was clearly Raven's fault. The conversation would often turn to Raven's new life. She spoke about her foster family, a quiet couple who didn't pry but were always there with a warm meal and a listening ear. She talked about her schoolwork, about the satisfaction of a good grade, something she had never really cared about before. She was doing her best to break her family's cycle, and she was succeeding. One day, after a particularly stressful afternoon of school and a tense phone call with the adoption agency that yielded no new information, Mina felt the familiar dread of anxiety tighten in her mind. As she sat on the steps with Raven, she saw the flask come out, and a part of her, the part that craved a pause button on her own enormous questions, felt a dangerous pull. "Can I have another shot?" Mina asked, her voice low. "Just one." Raven froze, the flask halfway to her lips. She looked at Mina, her expression unreadable at first, then hardening with a quiet resolve. "Nah," she said, screwing the cap on tight and putting the flask back in her pocket. "I'm done with all that. It's time for you to be done with it too." Mina stared at her, confused. "But you said it helped. It helped you." "It's a lie, Mina," Raven said, the words sharp and clear. "It's a lie you tell yourself to get through the day. It's a tiny escape from the enormous weight of reality, but it doesn't improve anything. Your problems are still there." She held up her hands as if holding an invisible object. "It's like holding an ice pack on a broken leg. Sure, for a moment it might numb it and take away the pain. But sooner or later you are going to need a cast, medicine, or even surgery to fix that broken bone. And all that time you were holding the ice pack, you weren't healing. You were just putting off the inevitable." Mina nodded, a small, sad smile on her face. "My mom is getting that surgery right now," Raven continued, her voice thick with emotion. "And it's not easy. She's in so much pain, but it's a good pain, get it? It's the pain of healing." Later that week, Mina accompanied Raven to a family therapy session, a rare visit with her mom. The session was raw and emotional. Raven's mom, Karen, with a new, fragile honesty, spoke about her own past. She talked about a difficult childhood, a home where she was never truly seen. "I started drinking and smoking in 5th grade, she confessed, her voice shaking. "I was just a kid, but I was in so much pain, and I thought it would help." The addiction got worse when Raven's dad left them, and instead of taking responsibility, she used Raven as a scapegoat. Blaming her was a coping mechanism for her own weakness. "I regret it now," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I regret that I wasn't strong enough to break the chain of abuse. I never wanted you to go down that path." Raven listened, her face a mask of stone. But Mina could see the tremor in her hands, the flicker of a lifetime of pain and blame. When Karen finished, Raven finally spoke. "I won't," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "I won't make those mistakes. I will be strong enough to break the cycle. I will not let my own child face the same kind of challenges I had growing up. It was a promise not just to her mom but to herself, a final and decisive rejection of the past. A soft voice broke the silence. "Who's your friend, Raylene?" Karen asked, looking at Mina. "Huh." Mina said. "Oh, I see. You're going by that silly name again." You know, Raven's eyes immediately shot downward as she realized her cover had been blown. Her mom stopped mid-sentence, glancing over at the counselor, and realized that she was going to her same pattern of verbal abuse that they had been discussing in their sessions. "She's kind of the reason you're in this program." She was referring to Mina's confession that she was the one who sent the video to the police. Mina looked down, shame and embarrassment washing over her. She had been so caught up in Raven's journey that she hadn't considered the impact of her actions on Raven's mom. Her mind raced, searching for the right words, but all she could manage was a stammered, I don't know what to say." Karen smiled, a genuine, sober smile that lit up her weary eyes. "Raylene," she said, using Raven's real name, "you have the best friends. Someone who will look out for you and do the hard work. She's even here today. That says a lot." She turned her gaze to Mina, her expression full of gratitude. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft but firm. "That hurt, what happened and the way it went down, but it needed to be done. I am thinking more clearly now than I have in years. Thank you for your help with my daughter." With a nod, Karen opened her arms. Raven stepped into the embrace, a silent, heartfelt apology passing between them. Then Raven looked at Mina, a faint smile on her face, and motioned her forward. Mina, her smile shining brightly, joined them, and the three of them met in a group hug, a fragile but powerful symbol of forgiveness, hope, and a new beginning.